This is She Creates Business, a podcast for wedding pros. Your host, Kinsey Roberts, interviews incredible women in the wedding industry who are making their mark and creating success on their terms. Join the conversation.
Well, hey there and happy Tuesday. Welcome to episode 65 of She Creates Business, a podcast for wedding pros. This is your host, Kinsey Roberts. Thank you so much for being here today. It is in fact Tuesday, so we are back with another tip for my summer series called Tip Tuesday. I know, not a fancy alliteration at all, but it's so cute, isn't it? If you're just joining me for the first time, every Tuesday this summer, I will be bringing you a snackable-sized episode all about the tips or experiments I'm trying in my own wedding business, just in the spirit of open conversation to kind of just open the curtains and say, hey, here's what I'm trying, here's what I'm not trying, here's what's working, here's what's not working, to see if we can start a dialogue or to hopefully give you some new ideas that maybe you haven't tried yet, or for you to reach out and say, hey, I love that. Here's what I'm actually doing when it comes to that topic, and to give me new ideas. So hope you enjoy it. Last Thursday in episode 64, we talked to Kristen Kaplan all about pricing and how to price your business for profit, how to actually realistically and logically look at your business and say, what are my fixed costs? What do I need to pay for taxes? What are my, what do I need to do to bring home a profit? What kind of profit do I want to make? What kind of salary do I want to make? And all of those really logistical questions that go into pricing your business and pricing your services so that you can actually cover all of those things instead of just asking yourself, well, what am I worth? I think that question it's like a misnomer, because you are worth so much more than just your business. That's just a piece of you. It's not all of you. And so anyway, before I run away with that, just wanted to say that was a great episode 64 with Kristen Kaplan about pricing. And so with today's Tip Tuesday, I wanted to follow up with that and talk about whether or not you list your prices on your website. I know there's a lot of schools of thought around this, and I was going to tell you what we do. I know that some people list their starting prices. Some people don't list prices at all. Some people just put it all out there for everyone to see and list prices completely on their website. And I'm interested to know what you do. So let me tell you what we're doing right now on VistaView Events. We're actually doing two things. So I don't make people contact me to get my prices directly. So I'm not one of those people who are like, contact me for pricing. I think that in my opinion, I think that is a bad customer experience, because there are just price shoppers out there and they need that information quickly. If you are too expensive for them, or if you are right in their budget, then they know either way and they can take the next step. And that is a good customer experience, whether the next step is to someone else because they totally can't afford you, or if the next step is to contact you officially because they can't afford you and they're interested. I love providing the client with all of the answers they need without having to wait for me to get back to them. But I also have a marketing brain and I want to build our email list. So here's how I put prices on my website. On our wedding page, which you can find at vistaviewevents.com/weddings, I have what's called the experience guide, and it's all about what a wedding would be like for our couples at VistaView Events. And it basically is just a reiteration of all of our FAQs that are listed on our website. It's a reiteration of all of our FAQs because we really want to drive those home. We want to drive home what you can do at VistaView Events, why it's awesome, what are the things that you can't really do at VistaView Events, that we discourage. What is our cancellation policy? We love to educate our couples, because when we have a couple come tour with us, and I'll get to this in just a second, why, but when we have a couple come tour with us, they are so knowledgeable because it's, 8 times out of 10, they've downloaded this guide. And so there's no mystery about what I'm going to say. There's no mystery when I say we take a 50% deposit. They're like, yeah, I remember that from reading on your website or reading my guide that I downloaded. And so anyway, on that page, vistaviewevents.com/weddings, we have the wedding experience guide, and it says your guide to, your wedding at VistaView Events. And they have to download it. And in that guide is our pricing. And it's our full pricing list. It's not starting prices. It's our full pricing list, peak season and off season. during the week and on the weekends, and they have access to it right away. So they have to opt in. So they have to give me their email address to get that guide, but then it is delivered automatically through the email service provider that I use, which is called ConvertKit. And so it's a win-win for both of us. They get the information that they need right away. They want to know what my pricing is. They need to be reiterated on the FAQs and to figure out if VistaView Events is for them. And I win because I build my email list with people who are interested enough to give me their email address to get my prices. So it's a win-win for both of us. It's a strategy that's been working for us so far. And as I just mentioned, if somebody inquires on my website, if they don't go download that first and they submit a contact form, or if they do download the guide first, either way, they download the guide first or I send them the guide in my response email to anybody who inquires with us. If they get back to me right away to schedule a tour, or they schedule a tour in some part of my follow-up process, which I do have a follow-up process, those couples are really interested. You know why? Because they know everything they can and can't do at my venue, and they already know my pricing. And if they're booking a tour after knowing all of that, it's very likely we're going to book them. And I love that. I'm just like Sarah Rizzi from she was on, I can't remember what episode she was on, but her company is called Sincerely P Events. She, as of the recording of her episode, which is quite a few episodes back, as of that recording, she listed her prices on her website, just full out for everyone to see. And you know why? She said it's because she may not get as many inquiries as everybody else, but she gets the right ones. And that's true because her prices are so apparent. If someone inquires with her after seeing her prices, they are very likely going to book with her if they like her personally. Like at that point, it's just basically like, can you do the job and do I actually like you for both of them? Because it's a mutual, it needs to be mutually beneficial. And I loved that. She was like, I don't get as many inquiries as people, but I don't have to sift through as many non-ideal clients. If people are cool with my pricing, then we move forward to the next thing. So that is, that she puts her pricing on there. My pricing is in an opt-in guide that tells everybody what they're going to get if they're a couple at VistaView Events, and helps build my email list, but it also gets them in the information they need without having to come to me, wait for an email back, wait for a call back, what have you. They can just, pop in their email and get that information right away. I love the customer experience side of it. I love that they get the information that they need. And I also love building my email list. So let me know what you think of that. Shoot me an email at kinsey@shecreatesbusinesspodcast.com. Or of course you can find me on Instagram and we can chat about it. I'm at She Creates Business. Thanks so much for joining me for Tip Tuesday today. And I will see you guys on Thursday.
Thank you so much for listening to She Creates Business. Please take a minute and head to iTunes to leave an honest review so we can help more wedding pros find the show.